Welcome to the Straight Up Pod. I'm Sujeiry,
I'm Jessi.
and we're here to talk about life,
Love,
relationships,
sex,
motherhood,
powerful mindset.
and career from a growth mindset. So we're so excited for you all to join us on our very first episode.
Woo woo!
Yes, we have been talking about this for a really long time. Actually, Jessi brought up the podcast to me back in 2023. She had this idea. Why did you want to start this podcast?
So the reason why I wanted to start the podcast was because I had just graduated with my certificate in life coaching. On top of that, I have lupus, and I also have a lupus page on Instagram. So I was also doing lives with other advocates, reaching out to the community, letting people know that they're not alone with what they're going through, and I absolutely loved it. So meeting Sujeiry, we have a lot to say.
We do have a lot to say. We have lived, people. We have lived. And even though we're talking about things from a growth mindset, like we're still going to have fun. So this is not going to be an uptight, because we're not uptight women.
No.
We like to have fun. We like to party.
Absolutely.
We actually met at like a beach bar.
Yes.
When Jessi ended up just posting. We were part of this Latina moms group, and she posted, if anybody wants to meet me, I'm going to be here by myself. And I was like, yo soy atrevida. Like, I'm going to show up. You might be a psycho. We might hate each other. We might have a fight. And need Vaseline.
Did you think that?
No.
Did you think that all? Like, what am I getting myself into?
The thing is that I'm always of the mindset, which we'll talk about here in the Straight Up Pod, of, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? I'm always coming at it from a lens of, this is an adventure. This is going to be exciting. Even if we end up arrested, it's still an adventure, right? Right. So when Jessi actually brought up the podcast to me in 2023, we talked about it for a while, and then like life got in the way, right?
Yes.
As things happen.
Yeah.
But I had wanted to do a podcast again, because I had a podcast just alone. And then before my podcast, I was on SiriusXM. I had a self-titled talk show called Love Sujeiry, talking about love and relationships. So it just kind of, I feel like I manifested it, because I was thinking and considering, should I do a podcast again? And I swear, like a couple of weeks later, you were like, it was very formal. She was like, let's have dinner. And I was like, ooh, dinner, not like. And she was like, I have a proposition for you. Like it was, you were like on it. Like I've been.
Well,
thinking.
I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've always wanted to put a podcast together. Like I said, we do have a lot to say, and we just want to reach out to the community. Nobody in particular.
Yeah.
Just
we just want to help people, and we want to have fun.
Exactly.
So like this podcast, if you're a woman, welcome. If you're a man, welcome. If you're a woman of color, welcome. We are for everyone. It's really about expanding our minds and having fun, because listen, as much as I'm all about personal development, again, I like enjoying myself, having a cocktail. Cheers, by the way. Cheers.
Oh, yes.
I think I drank my wine, so I'll cheers to an empty cup. Cheers. And everyone who's watching on YouTube, hello.
Yes.
If you're listening on whatever podcast platform, we are on YouTube, but we appreciate you listening and watching wherever you're watching.
Thank you.
So we have segments here on the Straight Up Pod, and we're really excited to share our segment. Actually, no, I'm skipping. There is something else that we have to talk about before the segment. I do want to dive in, because we want you all to get to know us more. And since we are talking about everything from a growth mindset, what was the turning point for you, Jessi, to get you into this growth mindset? I mean, you did a whole coaching program.
I did. So I feel like the life coaching program really also put a lot of things into perspective for me. I was to the point where I was just kind of tired of hearing the complaints, the negativity, the woe is me.
Of people in your environment.
Of people in my environment, family, friends, what have you. And I felt the negativity.
Yeah.
I felt it, and I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. So as much as it hurt, I did have to distance myself from quite a few people, friends and family. I've done retreats. That was also very helpful, and made me realize how important my peace and my mental health is, and boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries.
We're gonna have a whole episode on boundaries and how to set them, because it took me a long time to set boundaries.
Me too.
Like I was probably like I'm 47 now. Jessie's a fabulous 50. Thank you very much. Okay. And I think I started learning how to set boundaries like when it was around COVID. I was like 40 something, which is crazy.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me too.
It took me four decades to set boundaries, right? But traditionally as women, right, and I don't want to generalize, but many women can relate to this, especially like Latinas. We are taught to kind of cater to everyone,
right,
and to take care of everyone,
and put ourselves on the back burner.
Yes, and to not say no, especially to family, especially in like cultures where family is really important, and that's not just a Latino culture, because I know a lot of cultures are like this. Saying no to family is like a stab in the heart. It's like you're betraying your family when you say no to them, even if it makes you uncomfortable to say yes. So I love that because I feel like everything kind of aligns to like where we're supposed to be, and you were already on this path of, man, everybody in my environment is just like in victim mentality, and then you landed in this coaching program and it just opens up everything for you.
It really did. And then meeting you, I just, even when we first met, I just felt like an instant connection with you.
Yes.
Like
many people do. No, I'm kidding.
I just feel like everything kind of aligns. Like I was into affirmations. I still am, by the way.
Me too.
Affirmations, manifestations.
And I was telling you about all my affirmations.
And I'm like, wow, that's me.
I know, you were telling me. I remember, like, I journal my affirmations. I was like, oh my God, I script my affirmations. Like, yeah, we just clicked instantly, and now we're here. And you're clicking with us instantly.
Yes,
I command you. I'm literally manifesting this. I'm brainwashing people to click with us. All right, so my turning point, it happened really young because we'll talk about like childhood and patterns and things in other podcasts, but my dad wasn't in my life from like, he was inconsistent, and then at 12 years old he wasn't in my life at all until I was in college. I think I was 19.
Okay.
And so like, as you all can imagine, that did a number on me, and our relationship wasn't great to begin with. So the sudden return and like what to do with it was very mentally draining, and emotionally it fucked me up. So I went to therapy for the first time when I was in college, and then that led me down reading books by Iyanla Vanzant, like Yesterday I Cried, which I love her. Like that was my first personal development book, and like diving more into mindset. And I didn't know about manifestation yet, and I didn't know to the extent we have power over our life based on our perspective and the lens we're looking at things, right? Victim mentality or not, right? The complaining versus the not complaining. But I started diving into psychologically, like what my childhood, like the limiting beliefs and the lack of confidence and things that were coming up because of my childhood and the relationship with my dad. And so I actually haven't turned back. Like since I was 19, I've just been on this, and I have to say, for a while it was like a trying to be perfect journey, trying to fix every problem journey, which can be really dangerous also.
Like your problems or
my problems?
Others?
Well, my problems, because both. But I'm someone like I've never been someone that looks at a situation and points the finger. I've always been someone that blames myself.
Okay.
There's people that can easily be like, oh no, I didn't do anything wrong, that's their bad. Like me, I would say, yeah, they did something wrong, but I've always kind of taken accountability, sometimes even too much accountability. Okay. But I think that's just how I'm created. Like that's just the person that I am, because I'm such a like reflective person by nature. As I'm taking shots, I'm like, should I be taking this video? Reflective while I'm dancing on a tabletop. That's who I am. That sums it up. So deep and drunk. But yeah, so I think all of it kind of just led me down this path, and we'll talk more about kind of childhood stuff, patterns.
That's future episodes.
Now I jumped the gun. Now it's time for the truth bomb of the week. And again, the truth bomb of the week is our weekly like mic drop moment where we share a truth, something that it was like an action we took or an aha moment that can help you. So what's yours, Jessie?
So an action I took this week
she proud of it. Full chest.
Turning down an invitation.
Okay.
And it may not be something huge or big, but I'm not going to get into specifics about it. I just want to let everyone know that when you don't feel comfortable and you don't want to be in a particular environment or space, whether it be family, friends, colleagues, whatever, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. They may be upset. They may get upset. I don't care. You know, like my mantra is I don't give a fuck.
That's her new mantra.
Yeah.
How long has that been your mantra? Is that recent?
So like Sujeiry said, I just turned 50.
Is what they say true?
Yes, it is. So I do have a lot of friends that have already crossed over to 50 and plus. And a lot of the girls did tell me, wait until you turn 50, wait until you turn 50. And I never really understood, like, okay, what's going to happen when I turn 50? But basically, I don't give a fuck.
It's like an alien sucks your body and returns you to I don't give a fuck.
Don't. Like, I'm 50.
I'm ready, aliens.
Hello. I have a 28-year-old daughter, and the boundaries that I have learned to set, I'm also teaching her.
That's great.
And there's a lot of things we'll eventually get into, but there's a lot of things from my childhood that I made sure not to bring in raising my daughter.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for another episode.
Yes. We're going to talk about so many things. Well, I love that truth bomb of the week, because it really is hard to say no when you're conditioned to say yes, especially if it's expected for you to say yes.
Right.
So I love that. Okay, my truth bomb of the week actually is something that I realized last night. I was hanging out with two of my friends. They're newer friends. They did nothing wrong. So if you're listening, hello, you did nothing wrong. This is all me and my past trauma, my childhood. So they were talking about something, and it was like an event they're going to, and I didn't know what they were talking about. So I asked, oh, so what is this about? And they did tell me, oh, we're going to this event. And I felt really excluded in the moment, not because I feel like they have to invite me to an event. They have their own friendship.
Right.
Me and Jessi have our own friendship. And, you know, we're in the same kind of circle of like Latina mom friends and acquaintanceships. But I felt myself like in my head being like, ouch, you know, like I felt excluded. I felt like not seen and heard. I felt like not important, or like, you know, they didn't almost like want me, like me as much as they liked each other, you know. And I think it happens a lot also with like newer friends when it's like 3 people instead of like that one-on-one thing.
Right.
It's a different dynamic when it's like one-on-one, or even 4 people or 3 people, because when you're 3 people, someone's gonna feel left out.
Absolutely,
naturally. That's kind of the nature of things. That's mathematics, people.
Right.
Okay. So, but like again, I am.
So it took you back to your childhood, basically.
Yeah, it took me back to my childhood, and we'll talk a little bit more about childhood as we said. But in my childhood, I was the middle child. I was really quiet, very chaotic childhood. So I felt like not seen, not heard.
Right.
Like I felt very dismissed and like just kind of shoved in a shelf a lot of the times.
Okay.
Especially because I was, you know, not misbehaved. I was always reading. I was really obedient. So it's like, oh, we don't have to fuss with her because she's good, right? And so that has carried over, which is, I think, why I gravitated towards like being on the mic and having a radio show and like wanting to be for the attention.
Right.
I felt like I didn't realize it while I was on these platforms. But yeah, having that validation and that attention made me feel seen and heard and valued. And so last night it kind of clicked. And the great thing is that because I'm so self-aware and in tune with my own shit, I didn't put it on them. I didn't act weird around them. But I caught myself from like seeing it from a perspective of I'm being isolated, I'm being excluded. And I caught myself from reacting and trying to be extra or do something to get the attention, which is how I used to react when I was in like that version of me that needed that attention.
Yeah. I'm glad that you picked up on it. That is so amazing that you were able to just take a step back.
Yes.
And just realize, like, first of all, not to blame them because they had nothing to do with them, but like you said, your own perception. Yeah.
I mean, and I clocked it right away, and I was able to mentally redirect, like, this is just old shit. They're not doing anything wrong. Just they enjoy your company.
How'd you feel afterwards?
I felt like it was like, okay, and we went to the dance floor and we shook our like I like to do. There was no tabletop this time, but maybe next time. And we went out and we are going to hang out again. So it was, I diffused it in my own mind, and therefore that reflected back. They didn't think anything of it. It was all in my head, people.
Right.
Sometimes Shit is
mind is
always
powerful.
all in our head. Mind
Yeah.
over matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to give you all the straight up pod takeaway. And what this is just like a journal prompt. We both like to journal.
Yes.
We are both reflective and fun, as I like to say. So the journal prompt is, if you are listening and you're driving, come back and listen to this. If you're watching or you're sitting down, write this down. Take notes, baby. This is going to be deep, life-changing shit. What version of me am I letting go of so I can become who I'm meant to be? I'm going to repeat that. What version of me am I letting go of so I can become who I'm meant to be? And you have to define who you want to be first.
Yes.
Because you can't answer this without knowing where you want to go.
So a lot of thought process has to go into
Yes. So think about it.
reflection.
Reflect. Really write down, like, what do you want your life to look like? And if that life doesn't align with who you are and you're like, that's the life I want, but this ain't the life I'm living, what do you have to let go of? It could be people.
Mm-hmm.
It could be setting boundaries and
Yep.
saying no. Okay. It could be letting go of a relationship or a job. It could just be internal,
Right.
right? A shift in your mindset. What limiting belief do you have to let go of?
Right.
Is it like me, my limiting belief of I'm not seen and heard? That's on me. That's not on them, right?
Yeah.
Is it the limiting belief like Jessi had of having to say yes, that she has to let go of in order to set a boundary,
Exactly.
right? So think about that, guys. Think about that.
And we'd
let us
like
know.
to hear it, actually. Our DMs are open
Yes.
on Instagram at the Straight Up Pod. We'd like to hear it, and we may read it on the air.
Yes. So please follow us, The Straight Up Pod, on Instagram, TikTok. Our YouTube is also The Straight Up Pod. On Instagram, we are opening our DMs. We want any questions you may have on
Yes.
mindset, relationships, whatever you want
Anything.
us to touch on.
Nothing's off limits,
Nothing's
guys.
off limits.
Nothing.
We are open, and we will be honest and transparent and straight up
Yes, and raw.
and raw. Yes.
Authentic.
So give us feedback too. Okay,
Yes.
we appreciate the
Anything
feedback.
you guys want to hear us talk about,
Yes.
Send it our way.
Send our DMs, as Jessi said, we will be reading some commentary. So if you have great things to say, share that. We'll read that. If you don't have great things to say, we'll read it. But then we're gonna be like, too bad for you,
Exactly.
because we're amazing. We're fabulous.
We are.
Okay. Also, leave us a review.
Yes.
This is a new podcast. Reviews are really powerful.
We're going to be on all podcast platforms.
Yes. So just drop your review wherever you're listening.
Give us 5 stars, guys.
5
stars
five.
only.
If you can give us 10, maybe just add 5 and draw 5 more. Use AI to give us 10 stars. All right, guys. That is it for us. Ladies, gents, anyone who's listening, thank you.
Thank you guys
for
Thank
joining
you so
the Straight Up
much on our
Pod.
first episode.
Next episode, what were we talking about? Before the healing era, patterns that kept us stuck in love.
Ooh,
This might
that's
have to
gonna
be a
be deep.
two-parter.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I was like, I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a two-parter.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because
I
I
agree.
have multiple patterns that kept me stuck. I'm like an embroidery people. I'm so patterned and so fucked up. Used to be. Not
Used to be,
anymore.
right. Used to be.
Don't have to be
Keyword,
perfect
used
to be loved.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go. All right, so we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next
See
week.
you next time.
Bye-bye.